So we are closing in on the end of the month, and of course that means one thing: to all duelists, upcoming updates. Now, we do have a bit of a different update today. I was spoiled on it, so no live reaction. We're going to kind of go through, and I have like got collected thoughts this time. It might be a bit better than usual. We do have a 25th anniversary campaign in early November that's going to give us a dream ticket, some gems, and a skill ticket, and up to 5,000 gems randomly distributed, which is fine. That's pretty cool. We usually get a campaign right in November, whether it be for a celebration or for downloads. This year, they're putting it to the manga. I assume next year will probably be the 150 million downloads, maybe 170, right? If we ever get there. This is cool, right? This is, like, to me, this feels like the thing they're kind of highlighting, right? Is they're saying, hey, look, this month coming up is going to be really good because we're getting a free dream ticket, and in reality, the month isn't all that good. So, first of all, in early November, we're getting Duelist Road: The Dark Side Dimensions, which I was really shocked at, because we haven't seen a Dark Side Dimension World event since Zexal World started, right? We had Aigami. I think Aigami had a rerun, right, in like December or something around that time, and then that was it. So now we're getting a brand new event, and it's not an unlock. There's no character here, right? The quote, "We'll create a bright future together," that is a Dark Side Dimensions YUGI quote when he beats Aigami in a duel, and we just saw in Japan, YUGI get his voice lines. So clearly they were kind of building up to something happening, and this seems to be it. Now we're getting two brand new cards, Final Geas and Metamorphortress, which we have one of those via skill. They're both YUGI themed cards, and we're getting a Duel Links Mission Research in November as well, with Flashlight as a Pendulum, which people were kind of thinking that might be an easy box SR, but no, it's a free SR, which is really good. And then we kind of get the KC Cup, which is, you know, this month is going to focus heavily on this. They always do this, right? When a KC Cup comes around, every other event kind of gets pushed to the sidelines, and that's boring. It's dumb. It's really bad as a player and a content creator during that time, because all there is KC Cup. There's nothing really going on of note outside of that. But the big thing here is we're due a main box before this. Last year was Shark Fang, the year before Aerial Assault. Both came out a few days before the KC Cup. And look what's before the KC Cup. A Dark Dimensions event with two YUGI themed cards. Now, does that mean that, like the last, the Zexal Road event, right, we'll get a skill for YUGI in this event? It's very possible. And what deck does YUGI use? Dark Magician. And so, wouldn't it be cool if the main box had Dark Magician support cards in it? HOPIUM, and also Book of Moon, right? Because Book of Moon, there's two things they can do with Book of Moon. They can either save it for the New Year's Day box, right? Or put it here. And here makes the most sense, because they will get a huge spike of sales from KC Cup, because people will want that card like Stratos did last year. If they put it in the New Year's Day box, yes, they get some sales, but they won't be able to really use that card in a hype event for another month and a half to the KC Cup in February, which by then will have a EX deck, a selection box, a mini box, all from the 5th anniversary celebration. So, yeah, I'm going to kind of go through the cards at the end, right? We're going to do this a bit differently. I'm kind of reading between the lines here and thinking that maybe this main box here, after the kind of disappointment that Declan was and his mini box was, maybe this will be really, really good and have a focus on DM characters, at least for the box. Maybe some Pendulum stuff, right? Ignite, Sylvans, but hopefully Dark Magician support, maybe that'd be pretty cool. I'd be very happy. And then of course, moving down, we have the Tournament Mission Bingo with no confirmed card. We have Primo coming to the gate, which is fine, and like, always good, an old character coming back, being usable by more players. That's really good, even if Primo is a pretty shit character. And then we have TREY coming back as an unlock in late November, and the Mission Circuit with PM Captor. And he's getting some cool cards, right, that can also hint as to future support in the main box, in the December mini box. But let's go over to the brand new cards, starting off with Final Geas, Final Guess, how we want to say it. This was used in Dark Dimensions the movie to counter Deep Eyes White Dragon come back from the graveyard, and YUGI summons out a Dark Magician. So, fingers crossed. If a monster's with an original level of 7 or higher is sent from each player's field to the grave of this turn, so it has to be from both players' fields, banish as many monsters from the grave as possible, then special the one highest level spellcaster among those banished monsters to your side of the field. This is a very, very, very situational card, because there's very few times where your entire board, or like both players' field, are being nuked right at the same time. There's a very rare scenarios where this will happen. So, whilst yes, it sounds pretty good in concept, the fact it doesn't just resolve when one level 7 from either field is gone, it has to be from both. So it's a fun card. I'm sure someone will try and find a gimmick to kind of work around it, but it's not that great. Metamorphortress, though, we have Virus skill already, which also works with Dharma Magician. Specifically, it kind of works to, you put this on the Dharma Magician, you make it a very big boy. So you use this by targeting level 4 or higher effect monster you control, special this card, and then equip that card to it, and it gains attack and defense equal to it. And if it attacks, you then put it in defense mode. The cool thing with Dharma Magician, right, is that if you have navigation to graveyard, your navigation will still be live because this counts as Dharma Magician being on the field still. So there's a really cool little ruling there that kind of works out fun. Obviously, it's not just a DM card, and it's a rock card as well, so there might be some Magnet Warrior shenanigans you could do with this, which would be kind of cool. But overall, 2 trap cards from a YUGI event, or a Dark Dimensions event, that won't really do much, which makes me think that the event will have a skill alongside it that maybe, if they're using this to kind of conclude Dark Dimensions World, to give us a skill that is basically draw sense Mahard, like in the movie, right? You know, the final duel, YUGI draws into Mahard, he becomes a Tem, and, you know, I don't think we'll see a Tem in the game, that Reddit would go wild with Dark Dimensions YUGI coming to Duel Links. But I think that having a skill that kind of mimics that final turn would make a ton of sense. Then we have Flashlight, a level 4 generic, you know, 1800 beta, which is scale 7. Pretty good. You know, like for the vanilla pen deck, this is pretty good. Now, if it was scale 8, it would be so good. But scale 7 is fair enough. You can use it to make a board of rank 4s, rank 6s, right? It's fine, and as a free SR card, it's probably one of the better things we have here. Then we'll go to PM Captor, I believe the only zombie pendulum in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So could this be some hint at the mini box in December, bringing in zombies, kind of like Shiranui did back in 2019? Maybe, I doubt it, but Pend effect, when you pendulum summon a zombie type monster, this turn, it can destroy by battle by card effect, so it has protection, really cool. And the monster effect, which, you know, is fine. If it destroys a monster by battle, you can bounce one pendulum in your graveyard back to your hand, which, fair enough, it's okay, nothing to kind of write home about. But now we go to the Chronomalies. We go to TREY, because he's getting Moai Character, Moai Carrier, which is a Cyber Dragon, basically. A little bit worse Cyber Dragon, of course, but for rank 5 Chronomalies, which we don't have any yet, we don't have Machu Mech, but maybe Machu Mech could be in the main box or in the December mini box. It would make sense how they've been doing things with Supreme King, with Quattro. It would make a ton of sense to kind of put some more support in the next couple of boxes. And then we're getting another card that kind of works with the current Chronomalies, Aztec Mask Golem, that if you play a spell card this turn, you can just special this card from your hand. So, pretty cool. Not the best month, obviously, right? I think that everyone kind of agrees that it's a pretty uneventful month for Duel Links. The biggest thing, right, is this Copium bit here, the Duelist Road Dark Dimensions, into the box. Because if the box is terrible, and there's no Book of Moon, then this will be one of the slowest months for Duel Links it's ever had. And as a content creator, that kind of sucks, because that means I have to kind of scavenge for content, even though I already am, because I didn't go to the new mini box, but, you know. Now, one thing I kind of want to mention was the lack of a character for December. Last year we had Axel confirmed for December, because the KC Cup was kind of taking up the month, and they thought, you know what, we'll kind of tease it, we'll tease the character. What's happening this year? Well, if you follow along with trends and patterns that Konami does, you will be aware that every year for the past 2.5, 3 years, we've had 12 characters a year, for Legacy, for Current, and for New World. This year, we've already had our 12, but we've had 4 Legacy, 3 Currents as Exil, and 5 New. So that could mean we're not getting a character in December either. At least in the traditional way, right? We're kind of expecting a Roman character in December. There'll be our Arnold character in January. That's what they've kind of done with the main core series with 5Ds and Zexal. They did it with Jack. did it with Kite. So will they do it for Arc 5? Maybe. But we got deck on this early, so we don't know. Now, if I was to kind of say where I think a character would come, I think the final week of December, they'll try and put a character with a box on New Year's Day. I think that makes sense to try and sell a box at then, if the box will have Infestation Pandemic in, because it won't be hype. Like, I think Book of Moon is in this next box, in the November box, in like 2 weeks' time. I think we're getting it. If we don't, I'll be disappointed. But I feel like putting a character right at the end of the month rather than at the beginning of the month like they did last year, and for Rex back in 2019, I think makes a bit more sense given the overall trajectory of Duel Links right now, given we're expecting a mini box early December, the main box on New Year's Day, a main box coming in 2 weeks' time. But anyway, that is my extended thoughts on the brand new upcoming updates. You know, we're getting a dream ticket, so everything's cool, right? Everything's fine, everything's great. No need to worry. Duel Links is fine. Let's go. I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then.